score and soundtrack. And speaking of that, Riva has a question, wants to know about Travis Scott being featured in the movie. You don't normally have songs in your film, she says, and I know that it seemed like that was maybe a somewhat late thing that came in, right? With that song, or was that always planned, or how did that evolve?
No, it wasn't always planned. I've used songs on the ends of a few of my films. There's a David Bowie song at the end of Memento, for example. Yeah. There's a Tom York song at the end of Prestige. Sometimes that energy feels right to me. What happened in the case of Tenet is Ludwig was getting close to the end of the scoring. We keep watching the film, and then we started taking cues of his and putting them on the end to get a feel for when the credits were applied. Like, what's that going to be like? And we had a couple of things we were pretty happy with. But he, and this is his genius as a composer, but also as a producer, he sort of was able to step back from it and say, yeah, okay, there's something about, as he put it, there's something in the energy of the film that made you want something new at the end that built on, or was built from things that you'd seen, but wasn't a reprise. Right. Often a reprise works really well. In this case, he felt very strongly that it needed to be new, and he suggested getting Travis Scott involved and, familiarize me with Travis Scott's work and the great videos he's done and incredible songs. And I said to Ludwig, this is a super exciting idea. What do we do? How would we go about that? And Ludwig invited him to a screening, actually in this very screening room. And Travis came and watched the film, and he was one of the first people, really probably the very first person outside of our immediate team who saw the whole thing put together and immediately had a really exciting and energetic response to it that really showed, he really understood what it was we were trying to do with the music and what Ludwig had laid in there. So Ludwig sent him some of his tracks, and he turned them around and changed them and came up with this fantastic song that I then, when I heard it, we put it on the end of the film, it felt to me like we wanted to take some of his voice and layer it through the rest of the movie. So right from the first frame of the film, actually, there's a little bit of Travis Scott, in here and there, so that by the time you get to the end, you've sort of built up. There's a sound in your ear of his voice that sort of pays off at the end, and I think all of that. It was a really fun collaboration, and Travis was great to work with, and it really speaks of Ludwig's ability to kind of, he's this great genius who's kind of in his work, but he can also step back as a sort of producer and look at it very objectively and say, okay, let's bring somebody else in and see what we can come up with. It was a really, really fun thing to be a part of.
Yeah, no, super authentic and an incredible song.
What do you know about my dad?
Who has a story about Odysseus, huh? You? You have a story? A war. A man. A trick. A trick to break the walls of Troy. And burn it. Screaming to the ground. Let's go home.
The Odyssey. In theaters this summer.